I hope you're all having a great week. Barb here, live on a Thursday evening at my usual time, 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern. If you are watching tonight, please give me the thumbs up. I would love to see that. Or leave me a comment and let me know that you're here. I'm kind of wondering if I did something wrong with this thing. Oh, no. I see myself. So, okay, yay. We've got Sandra and Dolly here. Hello, ladies. Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it very much. Working on getting this super old iPads fired up here. The thing just, I don't know. It's just old. What can you do, right? All right. We are having a bit of a blustery day here today. So I don't know if you guys are having that same kind of bluster or if yours is nice and sunny and fantastic. Not that I mind the blustery. Like I said, we do need moisture here. So I'm not upset about that at all. So yeah. Let's see. We've got Kim and Patricia, and we've got Mesa, Mary, Corinne or Karen. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Joanne, Barb. Nice name, by the way, Barb. What is going on? Why is my oh, there we are. I see the comments. Okay, I think what is going on? I tell you what, this silly thing, this silly iPad is super frustrating. What? This is the few days before on stage. And I'm starting to get a little freaked out because there's so many things I need to get done before I leave, and I just don't know if it's going to happen. So, oh no, Diana says she struggled to find me. Well, Diana, you can always go to my YouTube channel, which is just Barb Stamps. And then if you remember, of course, that I'm live on Thursdays, then it should just pop up for you. Otherwise, I mean, who knows? It's the internet, it's technology. You never can tell what's going to happen, right? So sometimes you get notifications, sometimes you don't. Oh, I see one of my team members, Laura, is on here. Hello, Laura. We've got Julie, Tracy, so many of you, Myra, Elizabeth, Diana. Thank you guys again so much for joining me tonight. I hope you're having a good week. Like I said, we're having a little bit of blustery weather, but that is totally fine. Oh, she refreshed and I popped up. Yay, good to know. Sometimes you have to do that just in case. Oh, we have Tammy from Sheridan, Wyoming, or maybe Tammy saying hi to me from Sheridan. Tammy, are you in Sheridan or are you saying hi to me because I'm in Sheridan? Inquiring minds want to know. That just made me lose my train of thought. Who knows what's going on here? Yes, Tony, I will see you soon next week. I'm sure if you guys are demonstrators, you are aware that there's an onstage event next week in Raleigh, North Carolina. If you're not, then you probably could care less, right? But if you are a demonstrator and you are going to Raleigh, North Carolina, and you see me wandering around, please come up and say hello. I would love to meet you. Oh, Tammy is in town. She's a friend of Penny's. Oh, that's awesome. Penny is another one of my team members and actually is my neighbor. So there you go. So welcome, Tammy. Nice to see you here. Okay. Anything exciting going on? I'm going to have to go on a limb and say no, knock on something because I don't want it to be, super crazy exciting or whatever, but I will be dyeing my hair very shortly because it's getting a little grow out going on. So I think Tuesday, right before I leave, I'll be throwing the old color on this mop. Getting it cut, probably not. I did ask a couple weeks ago if anybody had any advice for me with getting these really stubborn grays that I have on the sides of my face covered with dye. And somebody did give me a suggestion. I can't remember. I think her name was Lori. I'm going to try your suggestion, Lori. So thank you very much for offering that up. I hope it works because it's really frustrating to me that, you sit there and you have the dye on your head for, good Lord, like an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. And then these hairs just don't take the color. It's super frustrating. So anyways, I'm going to try her little tip and I hope that it works. All right. What else? My husband will be home for dinner soon. We're having something super boring, taco soup. but it's something that I can whip up really, 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 really fast after I get this done. Linda wants to know what her suggestion was. Her suggestion was, if you've ever dyed your own hair, you know that there are 2 bottles of stuff. One of them, I believe, is one of them is the color, and then the developer or something like that maybe is the other one. So one of them is like a white color, and then one of them is the darker color for the color. She said, at least from what I remember, I'm going to have to go back and look at my comments, but I think she said just to put the developer on before I mix the 2 colors together, before I mix the developer and the color together, to put the developer on those stubborn grays, and then mix the color into the developer, and then put it all over your head. And according to her, that will help it take color. So I hope that is correct. I hope that it works, but I'm going to give it a shot because it's really driving me crazy having those not get colored when the rest of my hair is. So yikes. And you probably can't even tell. It's mostly me that can see it. You know what I mean? But you know how it is. The things that you see bother you the most. So like, I mean, if it was back here underneath the back of my hair, it wouldn't even matter to me because I never look back there. But when I'm styling my hair, I can always see these little parts here. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. When I used to get my hair professionally done, that never happened. But I mean, maybe they're just a little bit more stubborn right now than they were a couple of years ago. So who knows? I put color on a comb and comb it on. Yeah, I have tried that. I've also tried a brush. I've tried smearing it around with my finger. Nothing seems to work. So we're going to try, I think it was Lori. I think we're going to try Lori's idea and I'll let you guys know how it works. What else? It is a brand new month since I was live last week. So today is March 6th. I was live last week on the 27th of February. And my cards last week were really cute. So those of you that placed orders this week will get a card kit for those. We have brand new online exclusives that started out on the 3rd, I believe, or 4th, 3rd or 4th. I think it was 4th. Anyway, I do have my printable PDF. If any of you are interested in that, it's completely free. It's on my blog. It's in my blog store. So if you go to barbstamps.com/shop, it should be the first thing that pops up in my store. I think it's the last thing I loaded in there. And so you can print this off for free. It's got a very nice, it's very nicely put together of how everything goes together, because sometimes it's very difficult to know what's bundled, what's not, what goes together, what doesn't. And so this is very helpful. I do this each time we have online exclusives. And so if you're interested in that, it is a free service and it is on my blog. So there you go. Mary says she makes taco soup in the crock pot and makes the house smell good all day. Oh, I bet it does. I sometimes just can't get my poop in a group quick enough to figure out what's for dinner until right now. It's time to eat the food. And if I'm being honest, cooking dinner is the actual bane of my existence. I hate it so much. So much. I don't mind the actual making of the food. I hate trying to decide what to have. And some things just seem like the prep work is just so long and I just don't have the time to do it. Yeah, and I don't really want to. So I like cooking stuff that's quick and that I can do out of my head that I don't really have to follow a recipe for, because sometimes I'm not that great at it. So anyway, I see Sarah's joining us tonight. Hello, Sarah. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Pat. Pat is also one of my team members. Thanks for coming here, girls. Sonia's here, Linda's here, and Donna's here, and so is Mary. So yay. So again, I don't have anything to share. I have nothing going on. I've just been trying to get ready for on stage, making swaps. I've got some 3D things also. So if you guys have some 3D swaps, find me. I'd love to trade you. I have some cards I'd love to trade you. And I guess that's all that I can think of at this moment. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera. Oh, I guess there's one more thing. You've probably already heard this from other sources, but Stampin' Up! Is changing some of the configuration of some of their cardstocks. Thick basic white in the 8.5 by 11 size is going away. They will continue, or they will have it in 12 by 12. They are no longer going to have our regular cardstock that we've had forever and ever and ever. That we call dyed all the way through. There will no longer be assorted packages of that. So if you're a big fan of 12 by 12 cardstock or basic thick white in 8.5 by 11, which it's sold out right now, but it's coming back later this month. But the assorted packs of 12 by 12 are going away and they will not come back. So if you are a fan of 12 by 12 cardstock or colored cardstocks, I suggest getting to the store really quickly and getting that taken care of, getting some into your cart. I would also suggest, because the price of cardstock is going up, And it's kind of, well, it's $2.50 a pack. So do with that what you will. So I also recommend, if you have some favorite colors of cardstock that you want to make sure that you have and you don't want to pay the extra $2.50 a pack for, I would highly recommend that you get into the store and get those cardstocks ordered now, because when the new catalog starts, all cardstocks will be sold in packages of 24. Oh, it was Lori. She's on here tonight. Thank you, Lori, about my hair. So currently right now, Basic White is sold in a pack of 40 sheets for $13. It is going to be sold in a pack of 24 sheets for $14 going forward. So do the math, get yourself some white. Also your colored cardstocks. That's prices will go into effect. I believe the catalog starts May the 6th, if I am remembering correctly. And so that's the date that the prices will go into effect. We are going to be having 12 by 12. They call it cardstock. It's a little bit between, in my opinion, designer series paper and cardstock, two-tone cardstock, which I do like. I think it's very cool. I'm just kind of sad that we're not going to have any 12 by 12 colored cardstock, but what can you do? Kathleen says she's not happy about the thick 8.5 by 11. I'm not either. I ordered a lot because I like to use it for my cards, and I'm going to use it as long as I can. So I did order a lot, and hopefully that will last me for a while. I have been stocking up on some of my colored cardstocks also that I do use frequently, so I can get in on the better pricing of that. So I mean, it is what it is. The paper manufacturing, there's plants that have been closing, plants that are, so then they have to consolidate, and then our niche of paper isn't as popular, let's just say, as it once was many, many years ago. And so that, of course, reduces the demand, and of course, the price goes up. So along with that and some other factors, I'm sure just regular pricing of things go up. And I would imagine other things in the catalog are going to increase in price, as is what it is, right? So there's nothing we can do about that, but you can try to, get ahead of the game by getting some of that stuff now that you're going to use. So there you go. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to mention to you. I figured I could tell you that as a face-to-face kind of thing, rather than other way. But yeah, it's a bummer, but it is what it is. So if you are able to, I would definitely try to stock up now. Maybe go in with some friends if you have some, you know what I mean? Like if you have some local friends with you, and you guys like Real Red, Pretty in Pink, boho blue, and Coastal Cabana, but you don't need a full pack, maybe you could share, you know what I mean? You could order 2 packs, they could order 2 packs, and then you could split them. I used to do that when I had a big local, when I used to do local business, in-person business. I did offer cardstock shares, and it was quite popular. So you could try that. Okay, I think that's it. We're going to flip the camera and get to the fun tonight, and I hope you guys like what I have. So let me get my chair put out of the way. Let's get the camera flipped, and then I'll pull my hair back, and we'll get busy here. That's when we know we're getting busy, when Barb pulls her hair back, right? Okay, let's flip the camera. Whoops, I have to hit that thing twice. I don't understand why. Maybe does it go like, oh, but does she really mean it? And then I go, yes, and so then it flips. I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, here we are. We should have a nice level field here now. Oh, there's my clip. There's my glasses. Oh, good Lord knows. Lord knows I need my glasses. I can see like right in front of my face when I'm doing my live on the camera. I can see, but when I try to stand up, then my head is quite a bit above my work surface, and I definitely have to have my glasses then. Okay. Oh, first off, I have some mail here that I wanted to thank people for. This is a card from Anne, and Anne is in Spokane, Washington, and she sent me this very fun card for Valentine's Day. I thought that was very nice of her. Look how fun that is. Putting these, oh my gosh, these are all individual little squares. Oh, I know what she did. She put strips on white cardstock and then cut them the opposite direction, and then it looks like there's individual squares on there. So brilliant. I love this. Thank you so much, Anne. Here is another card. This one is from, oh, it only has her last name on the card. I don't want to call anybody out. This is from Lo Ann Irvin. Look at this. How cool is that? Right? So fun using the bees. I love it. Thank you so much, Lo Ann. Then I have this one. This is from Brenda Brenda sends me cards frequently. This is a fantastic card. I love this paper, and oh, how I miss this ribbon. The Azure Afternoon was one of my faves. Thank you so much, Brenda. This one is from, let's get the little note here. This is from Joan. So I appreciate Joan sending me a card. Thank you much. Thank you so much, Joan. I hope you have a great day. All right, and then we have this one here. This one was from Noreen. You can see how long I think I got this after Christmas. You know, at the post office, sometimes they're not super reliable. But I wanted to thank Noreen for this Christmas card because it's super cute. I love that. And then finally, I have a card here from, this is from Tracy, and this is a very cute card also. Love it that she used the Storybook Friends stuff on here. So thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate that as well. All right. Let me put these aside and we will do the little business part here. I already talked about this. Again, if you want this PDF, you can download it to your computer. You can download it and print it, whatever you want to do. It's in my blog store. It's completely free. I have other things in there too. You can do a search for blends, labels, and you can download a free little download for these Stampin' Blends labels that I have on my blends. There's lots of other free things in there. I think if you search the word free in my store, the free things will come up. I think I tagged everything with the word free. So if you are not aware, the Thankful Garden is one of the brand new suites in our online exclusive release for March. It is a set of masks, a stamp set, and a die set. And so Dina Kelly and I are using this for our March online collaborative class. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a gorgeous set of 6 cards in a box, which we're super excited about. Link is in the description, along with my heart-shaped class. I've got a couple more heart-shaped bundles left. If you want to get in with this class and you want this heart-shaped bundle, you can add it to your registration. This was from Celebration. This was a bundle in Celebration, so I decided to offer a class to go this month. This is not going to be a class that's on Stamp Happy Academy. This is just something that I do by myself. So the link to register is in the description of the video. Here's my host code for the next couple of weeks. As I'm going to be at Onstage next week, I will not be live. So the card kit that I have today will be valid for 2 weeks. So you will have until the 19th of March to place your order if you want the card kit that I'm going to share with you today. And then here's my host code ZUQ4CXTF. Every order that's placed in my online store gets a tutorial for the Floral Delight bundle or suite that's in the mini catalog right now. And it just so happens that me and my global gals also chose this tutorial. So if your order's over $50, you're going to get 22 ideas for the Floral Delight bundle, Floral Delight suite. So that's pretty awesome. That doesn't happen all the time that we end up, my 2 groups collaborate with the same thing. So that's pretty awesome. My Facebook group VIPs, I did award some winners last week, and it was, let's see, Beverly Winslow, and oh my gosh, who was it? I already sent them out, so I cannot remember. But I do drawings for everybody who comments on the post that I put in the group as kind of a thank you for participating. I appreciate it very much. So if you've ever purchased anything from me, go ahead and join my Facebook group. Okay. Stamp Happy Academy, awesome. The PDF tutorial for the cards I'm going to make tonight will be on Stamp Happy Academy. I should get that on there tomorrow. If you're ever wondering what Stamp Happy Academy is about, it's awesome. I'm going to be live tomorrow evening for those of you that might be Stamp Happy Academy members. I think it's 4 Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. And I've got a really cool layout, a fun fold, and a color combination for you guys tomorrow night. So that's really awesome. If you want to check out Stamp Happy Academy, you can go to stamphappyacademy.ning.com and you can see all the things that we offer there. We've been doing this. This is our 4th year and we're just so thrilled with it. Adhesive kits, if you're ever in need of an adhesive kit, if you do any traveling stamping, or if you just want to keep all your stuff in the same place, I always have adhesive kits for sale and would love to sell you one. And finally, I have lots of retired things on my blog, as well as class files, class kits, free PDFs, and all kinds of stuff. So please head over there and just see if there's something that you might want. I do have my celebration items on there. My extra celebration items I do have for sale on there as well. All right, tonight we are going to be using the Linked Together bundle. This is a stamp set that is sentiments, obviously. a set of dies, which are pretty cool. And I think I used all of them but one. I didn't use one of these little foliage pieces. And the only reason for that is because when I dumped them all out, this one got hidden under something and I didn't even realize it was there. So I didn't use it. So that was my duh moment. But I am using a lot of the words. I'm using all the dies except that one. And then we are using 3 or 4 of the masks. I think 4 of the masks. There's 5 in here and we're going to use 4 of them. Yeah. So here's just a little sample card that I made. This is not included in the class, but this is one that I was just messing around with, where I took the number 1 label, or the number 1 mask, and I placed it on here, and I kind of did a little bit of daffodil, a little bit of lemon lime twist, and then I came back and I brought in number 2. And then I added those same colors in the same places again. And then finally I finished with mask number 5 and added some black. So they're really fun. You can use them together. You can use them individually, whatever you want to do with them. But I'm going to share with you a few ways to use them tonight. So I hope you enjoy that. And let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and my free thing, if you order over $75, is the antique pearls. And these are fairly flat, which I was quite happy about. So keep that in mind. All right. Oh, Linda says she really likes masks. I do too. Here's another card that I have. This is one that I made for a swap where I did mask on the background of my Night of Navy card base. And then we're going to do something very similar to this little feature here in my last card. So keep your eye open for that. Okay. All right. Let's bring in our supplies for the first card. Here we go. Let me dump all these goodies out here. So this is just going to be my kind of work surface while I'm doing some ink blending on the cardstock. You don't have to have a piece of cardboard, but I find it to be helpful. Okay, so what we have here is we have a lemon lime twist card base. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. I have a layer of black that is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. I've got a layer of Azure Afternoon. This is what we're going to do our masking on. And this is 3.5 by 4 3/4. I've got a 4 by 5 1/4 inch white for the inside. And then I have die cut 2 of the ovals. One of them is from white. One of them is from lemon lime twist. And then you can sort of see I kind of cut it in half. Mine is not completely even. It doesn't make any difference. They don't have to be taped together. I just did that as I was kind of putting my card together lightly, but I'll show you why I did that when we get to that point. You're going to get some scraps, and then you're going to need to die cut some of these pieces. So you're going to need to die cut a couple of these little foliage pieces out of the the lemon lime twist. And then you're going to die cut some of these flowers and some of these flowers. So the dies are, there's 2 of these flowers on the die and there's 4 of these. So you're going to need four of these and then 2 of these. Okay. So I'm going to put those aside, and I do have my little gem in there already because I wanted to see if the gems were going to work, and they do, and I'm pretty happy about it. Okay. We are going to start out by doing our inking on our piece of Azure Afternoon. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to add just a tiny bit of adhesive to it. And I'm just going to stick it down here on my piece of cardboard. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in mask numero uno. Here it is. And I'm going to place it down. It doesn't really matter where. And then I'm just going to use some Scotch tape just to tape it down to my cardboard. Now, I know I have talked about using pixie spray in the past with masks, and I still use pixie spray. The trouble with this mask is these little pieces here, they're so thin that they don't catch too much of the spray, and so they don't stick as well as, like, say, this a lot thicker mask does. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Normally I would recommend the pixie spray, but in this particular instance I'm not. And you know what, I just realized I have to make this nice and even, so hold on. That I can't just randomly throw it on there. It has to be nice and even. So I'm trying to look around on all sides and just make sure I have equal distance, kind of, you know, so it's not totally cockeyed or something like that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my pen over here and I'm going to mark my little notch. These little notches in the masks are helpful little tools so that when you put the next mask on, it also has a notch, and then it will help you line them up if you're trying to line things up really perfectly. Okay, ink. This is going to be a tone on tone. So what's crazy about this is as I'm inking up this layer, it's not going to really look like to me or to you that I am even adding any ink to this paper, but I assure you that I am. So I'm just dipping my brush into my ink, and then I'm just coming over here and I'm just rubbing it all on. Okay, and you can do this as many or as few times as you want. It's up to you how it's going to look. So yeah, you do you. So if you want to see, since it's kind of hard to believe that it's happening, yes, Stampin' Up! Does sell blending brushes. We actually sell them in 2 different sizes. We sell them in this large size and in this small size. I don't really have a preference of what I use for what. I like to have a brush for every color. And so I have just purchased both, and I just grab one as I need to make it a new color. And then I do put a little label on there because I'm kind of anal about stuff. I know a lot of people will just say, oh, just, I have one for my blues and one for this, one for that. I think these large ones are $15 for 3 of them. I don't know what the other size is. They might be like $13 for 3 of them or something like that. All right, so let's just take a peek under here and see what we've got going on. So see, it doesn't look like you're doing anything, but you are. So we're going to remove mask number 1, and then we're going to bring in mask number 2, which I know I just had. Oh, wait, here's some. I was like, what happened to it? Here they are. Mask number 2, and they are all marked right here. They do have a little number kind of, I guess it's kind of pressed in there, maybe with a little piece, a little heat thing or something like that. Anyway, so this is mask number 2. So I am going to line it up with my little notch that I did there. And so I'm just going to trust the process that it is where I want it to be, since I can't really see through. I can't really tell when I'm looking at this where my ink already is. So we're just going to trust the process that it is good. So now I'm going to add a little bit more to this mask. And this is just going to give us kind of a cool, kind of a shadow effect, I guess, if you will. So let's get this covered up. And I feel like I do have a little ink on my fingers here, so I may, the smaller brushes are 14. Thank you, Dolly. I appreciate that. So we've got smaller brushes 14 for 3 and the larger brushes 13 for 3. Okay. Let's take a look-see under here. Ooh, can you guys see that? How it's all shadowed now? I'm done. I'm going to pull it up so you can see it a little bit closer. So how cool is that? It just gives us a little shadow. So what would happen if you use like maybe 2 different colors, then you would have like the lighter color on the outside here and then the darker color on the inside. So that was just using masks. I'm going to wipe my hand off. 1 and 2. And then we're going to be using, I think, 3 and 5 a bit later. So I'm going to set this off to the side. And then when I clean these off, I will take the tape off, the Scotch tape off, and I just literally run it under the sink. And then I let it dry. Isn't that what I said, that the large ones were 15 for 3? I don't know now. Thank you, Dolly. I just run it under the sink, under the water, and then I just let it air dry on a towel. So pretty easy to take care of. Okay, so we can go ahead and add our Azure Afternoon to our layer of black. So I'm going to bring in some liquid glue here, and we will attach these 2 together. So they're going to be about 1/8 of an inch border for the black. Okay, we'll move that out of the way. Then on our white layer, what we're going to do is we're going to add our little foliage piece here. So I'm just going to add some glue here. If you have adhesive sheets and you don't like working with liquid glue, because it can be a little bit messy sometimes, then you might want to use adhesive sheets. And before I do that, since liquid glue can be messy, I am going to just like put it on my silicone mat so that it doesn't make a mess for me. And then I'm going to add this to the side of my oval here. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to add these little flowers. And actually, I might do this with some mini dimensionals. Where are my minis? Do I need to get some new minis? Oh, wait, are these minis? No. Oh, that's what I have left of my minis. Hold on. We need a new sheet of minis. So I'm going to just pull minis off here, and I'm going to add them to the back of my little flowers because I've got my little gem that's going to cover up the hole here so you won't see my dimensional through the hole. All right, so we have 2 of the daisy looking flowers and then 1 of the other ones. I don't even know what you'd call that, but we'll just call it a flower because I don't know. All right, and we're going to add that one up there. And then this little guy right here. Okay. And then where are my gems? We need to add our gems here. And I did use the larger ones. There are 2 different sizes on this, maybe 3 different sizes. Actually, there's 3 different sizes. I think I used the medium now that I'm looking at it. So there's small, medium, and large, and I'm using the mediums. Okay. Then I've got the little word O out of this stamp set, and we're going to have the little word O right there. And then we're going to complete our greeting on the inside of the card. So we have the little O here. So I'm just trying to make sure that to me, it looks kind of straightish. There we go. I'm going to clean that off real quick just because it's black and we all know what happens if you don't clean it off, right? It makes a mess. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strip of ribbon. This is our checkered vanilla and black check ribbon, large check ribbon, and I'm just going to kind of fold it like one does. I don't even know what you call this, but I'm going to fold it so that my tails are going to stick out a little bit longer than my loops. Okay, and then I'm kind of anal, so I like these things to lay nicely, and so I like to put Scotch tape on them. Most people don't care and they just wing it, but Barb can't. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to add this behind my white layer here, and I'm going to use another piece of tape to get that on there. Okay, so then what you would do is we would pretend you don't have these pieces of tape on here already, and you have your oval and you cut it in half as best you could because it's not super easy to do that. So just kind of wing it. And then what we want is we want a little bit showing at the top and a little bit showing at the bottom. Okay. And then our ribbon is going to kind of hide the edges of the oval in a sense. So that's why I taped it together in the back here. But we could just use glue. It doesn't make any difference what you do, how you get it together. Just get it together. Okay. So I'm going to stick that on my silicone mat. And I might end up trimming that off over there. We'll see if I don't like it. Or I might not care. That seems unlikely. Okay. Maybe what I needed to do was turn this. You know what I'm going to do? Hold on. I'm going to take these off. And I'm going to change my mind of where I put this thing. I'm going to put it a little bit more centered, I think. So I'm going to do this. So instead of having it really angled, I'm going to have it kind of go more through the middle. That way, when I put this on the back, then you won't see the bottom edge of the oval. Hopefully that makes sense. It's just because I'm just too anal sometimes. Okay, so something like that is what we've got going on. Now, I think I'm going to leave that. I don't know for sure. I might leave it. I might cut it off. Right now, I think I'm going to leave it, but I might change my mind. Yeah, I'm changing my mind. It took that long for me to change my mind. There. I'm doing that instead. Okay. And then I'm going to add a couple more dimensionals back here. One at the top-ish, one at the bottom, not one in the middle. And then we're just going to add our little gem right there. And then I need some scissors to trim off the edges here of the ribbon so that it's got that fun little diagonal cut on it. And then here is our card base. Am I going to use dimensionals on that? I think yes. All right, so I've got a few little scrap pieces here from a previous sheet that I just used up. Whoops. Last week, I think it was. So let me get all of these off here. Oh, Courtney likes my color combo. Thank you so much, Courtney. I have to tell you guys something. This idea came to me from a card that I made a couple years ago. I'll throw it out here in just a second and show you. And I really liked it. I was going through cards the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a really nice color combo. Okay, then for the inside, I've already got it done. So in your kit, you will get a strip of this Azure Afternoon striped paper that comes out of the Brights paper pack. It's a 3/4 by 4. And then you'll get enough scrap to make, these little flowers and this other little leafy piece. And so it says happy day. So on the stamp itself, it says a happy day. So I just masked off the A with a piece of tape, inked it up in the Azure Afternoon, and then I stamped it on the inside. So now we can add this to the inside of the card. And it is a happy day. If you were to get this in the mail, how could you not smile if you got this? It's so bright and so fun. Okay, so here is my previous card that I made a couple years ago. I used masks on that one too, but this time I had circles and some stamps. I think this was called Darling something or other. Darling Delight, Delightful Darling. No, Delight. It had the word darling in it, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, super cute card. And I loved it. And so I wanted to incorporate it with this other fun stuff that we have right here. So there you go. Card number 1. Okay, let me put that off to the side. And I don't have too much of a mess here to clean up, I guess, really, considering how it sometimes happens around here. Okay, then our next card, we are going to be using a new-ish Designer Series paper pack. Some of you may be familiar with this, some of you may not. It is a paper pack that is in our scrapbooking brochure that came out in January. And it is called, I think it's called Everyday You and Me. Nope, this one's called Everyday Happiness. And it is 3 patterns, double-sided. One of them is this fun striped kind of pattern with floral images on the back of it. Another pattern is this kind of light wild wheat kind of star pattern with a gingham on the back. And the other pattern is these kind of little oval polka dots. And then this kind of, I don't even know, watercolor background. And there are 4 sheets of each pattern in the package. So you can get a lot of the same type of thing out of it if you wanted to. But I just really am drawn to these colors. Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon to me are like a match made in heaven. And you throw in this wild wheat, chef's kiss, as they say. Oops, I just whacked my camera. Hopefully it's still in the right orientation. So for this card, what we have is a card base that is wild wheat. So it's 5.5 by 8.5. We've got a big 4 by 5.25 inch piece of this pattern of the Designer Series paper. We've got a piece of Pretty Peacock. This is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and you can tell I have die cut the 4 small flowers and 2 large flowers out of it because we're going to cover it up so you're not going to see it. We've got a layer of white that's 4 by 5.25, and then we have a piece of Lost Lagoon that is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And you will notice that this has been embossed. It was embossed with a mask. It was embossed with which mask? I think it was 1 or 2. Let me bring 1 or 2 back, and then I will share with you how you do this. I think it was, yes, it was number 1, mask number 1. Okay, so how you emboss with a mask is very, very simple. What you need is your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You need your number 1 platform, and you need a clear cutting pad. So you've got your platform, you've got your clear cutting pad. Then you need a silicone mat, okay? Then you would put your cardstock on here. And then you would take your mask and you'd line it up. You wouldn't want it to be crooked, so you'd line it up carefully. I just kind of looked at it and went, oh, it's got equal distance all the way around. I didn't use the tape. Tape doesn't stick to a silicone mat, so you can't really tape it down. You just have to be careful when you place it. And then you're going to cover it with the number 4 plate that is used for embossing. You're going to stick those all together. You're going to run that through your machine, and then this is what you get. Like embossed. Is that not cool? Now I did spritz this with rubbing alcohol before I sent it through. And I do think that helps it get a little bit more definition. Okay. So that is really fun and really cool. Okay. So I'm going to put that mask out of the way. So the card is kind of like almost even done, really, I guess, in a sense. Oh, and we also need the, where is that? We need the diamond. Did I stick it in here? Oh, it looks like I did. Okay. You'll get a scrap of white for the diamond die. So just get yourself one of those, because you need that also. So I'll give you the scrap of white for that. Okay, so what we're going to do is, it's like I said, it's a pretty simple card. We're going to take the designer series paper, and I want the kind of stripy pattern to show on the front. So I'm just going to add some glue here to the designer series paper, and then I'm going to set it on here. So we'll have a nice layer. There we go. We're going to have our embossed piece cover up the holes on this. I'm just going to add my glue around the flowers. And then we will add our embossed piece. Super, super cool. Okay. That's going to go right in the middle there. So you'll still be able to see a little bit of the striped pattern. And then on this piece here, we're going to kind of do the same thing that we did on the previous card as far as the flowers and whatnot go. So I've got 3 of the small flowers, and then I have the foliage piece that I did get out of the wild wheat. So I'm going to stamp a sentiment. This one is going to say, "So happy for you." And we're just going to kind of stamp that right here on this white diamond. And I think I need a foam mat for this, just because it is photopolymer. Okay, so I'm not going to try to be too perfect with it. I'm just going to stamp it like right up here. Just like that. So it's not even on any sides. It's not right in the middle. It's just none of that. And then I'm going to bring in my little foliage piece, and I'm going to kind of wrap it around in a sense. And again, if you have struggles using liquid glue, definitely get yourself some adhesive sheets and run these detailed dies through your machine with adhesive sheets. It will be so much easier for you if you struggle with this. I'm going to do it kind of like this. There we go. Press that down. And then we have our 3 little flowers. And again, I'm going to use the dimensionals on these little guys. And of course I had them and now I lost them. Oh, here they are underneath my stamp set. So we will add a dimensional to the middle back of all these flowers. Okay. Peel the paper backings off of all of them. There we go. And then we're just going to add them to the ends of the foliage pieces, just like we kind of did on the other card, but this is just a different color combination. So because, you know, we're using the dies and the stamps, we don't have a lot of dies to work with. We just have these flowers and these little pieces of foliage. And so you just kind of have to, you know, keep going with it, whatever. Let's see, should we use small ones this time? How would that look? I think that would look just fine. So we'll add our little gems to the center of all these flowers here. Okay. And then we can add our diamond to our piece here. I'm going to trim off this excess. If you want to leave it on there, you absolutely can. It just doesn't work for me. All right. I think I'm going to glue this piece down, and then I'll use dimensionals on the other piece. So now the diamond, I am going to try to center. So I'm going to try to center it from top to bottom and from side to side. Doing my best here. Hopefully we get it so that it is centered as best we can. And then let's bring in our dimensionals here. And we're going to add them to the card. There we go. And we'll just peel off all the backings here. Okay. We can get our foam mat out of the way. And then we're going to add this to the front. All right. And then I have this little tiny bow that I tied. This is our Lost Lagoon soft cording. This came out with the Otter set that came out, I believe, was like last November, or maybe it was August, July. I don't remember. Anyways, it was last year sometime. So we're going to use a little bit of the cording, and I tied a little bow with that, and we're going to add it with a little glue dot. Where am I going to add this with the glue dot? I don't know yet. I was going to put it on underneath one of the flowers, but now I don't know if that's where I want it. So we will just have to see what I feel. Okay. I was thinking there, and actually that actually might be the best place for it because it would look silly. I think if I stuck it over here, that would look silly. Here would look silly. So I just think, yeah, I think right here is where it's going to need to go. Okay. And then for the inside of the card, we have a little strip of that same paper. So just a little 1/2-inch strip and that same foliage piece. And then the rest of the flowers, I kind of threw them up in the corner just for some added interest. And then I stamped the word enjoy from the stamp set. So, whoops, I don't even know what just about happened there. I think I just about made a mess with glue. So, yikes. Okay, we're going to add this to the inside. So, there we go. And another one. I just love this paper. I just can't get enough of this paper. I looked at it in the scrapbook brochure and then I didn't buy it for whatever reason. I don't remember. And then I thought that I had bought it and I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. And I realized I hadn't bought it and then I had to. So if you see me at On Stage, I will have a few swaps using that. So I would love to trade with you. Okay, that was card number 2. So now card number 3, we are going to use the masks again. Get all my pieces and parts here. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind giving me the thumbs up. Of course, if you're enjoying the show. I don't want you to give me the thumbs up if you think the show is terrible. But I would love to get a thumbs up from you because that would be awesome. And yeah, keep commenting because comments really help the YouTube share my video. And I would love for it to get more views. Okay, so this card, we're using some Poppy Parade and some Petal Pink. So our Poppy Parade is our card base, 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to do some embossing with the new mini corrugated 3D embossing folder. This is brand new to the online exclusives as of last week. It does do exactly what it says, mini corrugated. Now, what I have found is that when you are using this folder, it does shrink up your paper quite a bit just because it has to do all the corrugated things, and so the paper gets quite a bit smaller. So what I recommend doing is having your piece of paper be bigger than you actually need it and then cut it down. So I actually ran a 4.25 by 5.5 inch piece, a quarter sheet of cardstock, through my machine, and you can see here that it did shrink just a little bit. And so I then cut this down to 4 by 5.25. So there's just a little bit at the top and a little bit on the edge. So anyways, I will do this for you. I will emboss it and I will trim it down for you if you get a card kit from me. That's just a little recommendation that I have. So that's going to go on the front of the card like so. Okay. We have a white layer for the inside. And then we have another white layer for the outside that we're going to do these masks on. So then you're going to get a piece of Granny Apple Green. And this measures, where's my little cheat sheet here? Is this it? No. Oh, here it is. So the Granny Apple Green piece measures 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And then you can see I cut a foliage piece out of it and I ran it 2 times with that larger flower. Okay, we're going to cover that up, so that's not a big deal. You're also going to get a piece of Petal Pink, and you're going to need to die cut this piece out of the die set. So it just cuts this whole thing, which is pretty cool. And then you're going to get a little strip of white that we're going to use for a sentiment. So the first thing we want to do is we want to use our masks and we want to add some color to this. So I'm going to bring my piece of cardboard back in. I'm going to get my other masks off of it. And I'm going to add a tiny bit of adhesive to the back just so it'll stick down. Okay. And we are using masks number 3 and number 5. So this is number 3. This is quite a bit thicker than some of the other ones. And we're going to lay this down, and we want it to be even so I can see my paper through the mask, so I can sort of line this up you know, where I would want it to be. And then I'm going to get my Scotch tape here and tape it down to my piece of cardboard. And then I am going to put my little notch thing here with a pen to help me out with my next layer. So we're going to use Petal Pink. So here's my Petal Pink, and then I have my dedicated brush here. Maybe I'll flip this like this so we can see what's going on here better. So I'm going to get some ink on my brush, and I'm going to do a little bit lighter hand than I did with my Azure Afternoon, just because the Azure Afternoon was going on the same color. So if I got a blob somewhere, it wasn't going to be as critical as if I get a blob here. So I don't really want to like have a blob. So I'm going to try to be a little careful. And I'm just going around this with my brush, just trying to get ink everywhere. And I did just re-ink this pad a couple of days ago. So it does have a bit of ink on it. So I'm trying to be a little careful with that also, because I don't want it to be too crazy. All right, so we're still getting a little bit of ink here. And if you want, you can have it be a little dark in spots. Keep in mind, what we're going to do is we are going to trim the white to this size. Okay, so if you kind of have an eyeball on your mask here about where this is going to go, you can kind of coordinate your efforts into that little space. So if you wanted to like go really ham on some of these little squares, you can. Or you can just have it be all the same, however you want to work it. So I think that's good. I'm going to leave that as it is. And then I'm going to change my masks out. So I'm going to take off mask number 3 and I'm going to bring in mask number 5. And I'll throw that over there. So here's mask number 5. And again, I'm going to line it up with my little notch. And as I do that, I am going to look through this because I can see this is going to put a bunch of little dots on there. So I can sort of see if I have it lined up right. And using the notch, I should. But just to make sure, I do want to kind of eyeball that it is all like lined up the way I would want it to be. And it does look pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and tape it down. All right. And then we're going to bring in some Poppy Parade, and we're going to add some Poppy Parade dots to this, this mask. So I've got a little poppy here. And again, I kind of know what section I'm going to use when I cut this. So it's kind of in the middle. And I know this looks excessive, but it's fine. So I could go ahead and do the whole thing if I wanted to, just to make sure that, you know, the spot that I want to actually use is going to be covered. And I have found that if you kind of drag some of your ink, you can end up using, you know, what's stuck on your mask, because there is quite a bit of ink on here. And of course, this is dark, so it looks pretty harsh, but it should be pretty good, I hope. Okay, so now when we lift off, look how cute that is. And we can pull this off and move this out of the way. And how cute is that? So this was masks 3 and 5. And then we're going to take this little guy and we're going to find a place that we want to glue this on. And I kind of feel like that's going to be the spot right there. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. Whoops, I got to get my little glue booger off there. And again, if you have adhesive sheets, you might want to use them because there is quite a bit of lattice work on this die that you might need to get a little glue on to get the whole thing to stick. So, but I try to just like not put very much squeeze, like I'm not squeezing my bottle super hard, I guess. And so I'm just getting a very thin bead of glue to go in between all these little lattice looking pieces. And then I'll do the outer edge also. So there's not a ton of glue, but hopefully I've gotten it in enough of these little spots that it's going to stick. Okay, so again, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to look again before I actually commit. Where do I want it? And I think right here in this area is going to be good. So I'm just kind of making sure that there's like equal distance around the little areas, and so that it all just comes really nicely together. Okay. Joanne says I'm a glue guru. I kind of have to agree with you. I kind of have perfected using a bottle of glue. Yeah, I do have my moments where I get it squished out still, but I'm pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to go and we're going to trim. So I'm just kind of angling my scissors just ever so slightly underneath the edge of the petal pink piece so that I can get this excess off and that I don't have the white sticking out. Okay. Come over here and we'll get this side. And then we have this super cute little focal point for our card. Like so. Is that not the cutest thing ever? Oh my gosh, I love it. Now, if you wanted to use these pieces for something else, you could. I'm just going to go ahead and scrap them. All right, so then I'm going to glue this to this layer of Granny Apple Green. I know you're probably thinking, wow, that Granny Apple Green, does that actually go with this whole theme? It will, I promise. Come around there. And we'll have just a slight border with the Granny Apple around our little masked die cut piece. Okay. Sue says, thank you for showing the mask embossing technique. Oh, you are so welcome. Okay. We're also going to add our corrugated piece to our card front. And because this is embossed, I'm going to use liquid glue. I find that liquid glue and embossed items, dry embossed items, they go together really well. Okay. As you can see, when I do use glue, my beads of glue are very, very thin. I mean, I have a lot of glue on this layer, but they're so thin that they probably aren't going to squish out when I go ahead and press this down. Okay. So that's kind of the trick to using the glue, is just to be sparing with it, with your beads. Don't go crazy and have like super thick beads of glue, because that's when it squishes out all over and then it can cause a problem. Okay. So this is going to go on here. This is our little sentiment strip. So I am going to stamp the phrase "Wishing You" in Poppy Parade. So let me get that inked up into the Poppy Parade. And I'm going to push it down here towards the right edge. How did we do? Decent. I'll take it. Close the ink. Bring in my little die cut pieces here and my scissors. So I'm going to flag the end of this with my snips. So I'm just going to go into the middle and then to the edge and from the edge to the middle. Okay, so we have that done. And then we're going to add this little piece of ribbon. It's about, I don't know, 1.5, 2 inches or so. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter too much. But we're going to tape this to the back of our Granny Apple Green layer. So I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to leave a little, like one piece is longer than the other. Can you guys see that? That my top piece is just a little bit longer than the bottom. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around. So I just wanted to have a little bit of interest off the side of this thing. Okay. So when I use my Scotch tape, I'm going to catch the top and the bottom of the ribbon because they're staggered. So that way they shouldn't come off. So then I just have a little piece of interest there. Okay. So then we're going to add our "Wishing You" to the card, and we're going to use these little green pieces as leaves. Okay. So I am going to add a little glue to the back of all of these Poppy Parade flowers. Well, 3 of them. So we're going to add a little bit of glue to the back of each 3 of these. And then we're going to glue them to the green flower and have the green flower be like little leaves behind them. I just thought that was kind of fun. Okay. And then this here. And there we go. So we've got our sentiment on here. I don't know exactly where I want it, but I think it's a little too long, so I'm going to trim that off. I think I'm probably going to put it like down towards the bottom of the layer a little bit. I don't want to cover up all of the fun detail that we made with the masks, but I do want to add a little bit of fun. And I thought we could do something along those lines. So let me go ahead and add my strip here, my sentiment strip. So something like that. And then mini dimensionals, where are you? Here we go. we're going to get our mini dimensionals on here. And then we're going to kind of add these, 2 of them around the sentiment, and then the other one just kind of, you know, randomly off in space somewhere. So maybe something like that. And then this one off to the side, like so. And then we're going to bring in our gems. And what do we want this time? I think we're going to go with small ones once again. And we'll just add those to the centers of all the flowers. Oops, I thought I had it and I didn't. There we go. Alrighty. Mesa says, beautiful cards. Thank you so much, Mesa. All right, now here's a little conundrum. Do I want to put this in the middle? Here we are in the middle. Everybody take a good look at that. Take it in. See what you think. Or do I want to kind of pull it down into the bottom right-hand corner? What do you guys think? Corner or middle? Middle or corner? Let me know your thoughts on that while we talk about the inside piece. So here's my inside piece. I have a couple more flowers, that same foliage piece, and then we use the A Happy Day sentiment. And then I have a little strip of designer series paper, and this comes from the, what's this actually called? The Mixed Media Florals pack of designer series paper. I just took this petal pink pattern right here and then added it at the bottom. I think the majority of you are saying middle. Yeah, I do think middle is the majority. I couldn't decide. It was kind of sitting here and I was like, oh, that's an interesting thought to maybe have it in the corner. It was an accident. I didn't mean to have it sitting there when I was prepping the card. And then I thought, but maybe, you know, you never know. So I thought I would ask you guys, and I will go with majority rules. All right. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 middles and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 corners. We have 11 middles and 7 corners. So I guess that means that the middle is the winner. So we're going to get some dimensionals here and we're going to add them to the back of the card. And I don't think I need to put it in the middle. I think we're good otherwise. Did we get another? We got another corner, I think. Maybe from Courtney. Oh, no, that was already there. Bonnie says she loves the color combo. I know. When I was first looking at it, I was like, I knew I wanted to do the petal pink and the poppy parade because I have used that color combination before and I did really like it. But then I wasn't sure what other color to put with it. I thought old olive, which old olive would totally work. It's just that the garden green or the granny apple green is just a little brighter, a little more springy, I think, than the old olive. And that's why I went with that. Okay, I'm going to fold that, burnish it good. So there we are, you guys. We have 3 cards. I mean, they basically have the same design, of course, like I said, with the flowers, but that's what comes in the die set. So, you know, that's what we had to work with. And we did use, like I said, all the dies except the one little foliage piece that I had lost, quote unquote lost, because it was hidden under my packaging. So anyways, I hope you guys liked these. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. Share the video if you're able to. Please leave me some comments. I do like to come back and read them. I don't always respond to all of them, but I do like to read them. I appreciate your comments so much. So thank you guys. Again, look for me next week at On Stage if you're a demonstrator. I would love to meet you, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. All right, guys, take care. Bye-bye.